And a pleasant good morning to you all as I record this 10:38 on the morning of April 20th. Big Polly coming to you. So we are going to be doing things a little bit different from here on out. I think doing the live streams has been a limited success with my setup here in the camper. So I'm going to do the next projects live to tape. But these will be sessions. These will be full blown sessions that I usually do off camera. We will do them on camera and just show you the results. We'll still do games of the week in the Time Travel League and NCAA basketball 75, 76, but we're going to do some in week games to expand the process out a little bit for all of you to see. And we also are going to be doing Retro Championship Wrestling, which we're going to be doing right now. And we're going to be doing all the cards for you to see. And we begin in the northern region with week 14, year one, with a no time limit match between Antonio Inoki and HBK Shawn Michaels. So let me just show you that. And we will get started. It's my church in the background, by the way. I did like a Peanuts cartoon sketch of Easter Sunday. I asked Google Gemini to do that, and it has done that. So that's what you see in the background. Inoki coming in at 8-5-1. And Michaels has been fluctuating between being a babyface and a heel. So we're going to use him as a heel here, but kind of a tweener. So I will type this up in front of you all. I like to be transparent with what I do. As my air conditioner kicks on, and we will do this opening bout. But doing this live to tape also helps me out. In case I get phone calls or messages or what have you, I could just stop tape, deal with it, then come back. So Inoki has been the junior heavyweight champion before. Michaels is kind of like a tweener between being a junior heavyweight or not. Just to make sure I'm on display feed here. And let's go off with this first bout. This was the only place where we could put the bout. A 16 against a 46 ranking wise. If Inoki wins cleanly, he goes to 8, but he will lose 3 points for facing somebody 30 points beneath him, so he would be an 11. And Inoki is cut right away. Hoping to end this feud, but it could be a schmaz, as they say in wrestling. We might have to go back to the West and settle this. My 4 regions up north is basically North America. The East is basically Europe, although not a big talent pool in the East. The South is basically the luchadors, and although mainstream wrestlers seem to do better and dominate. And the West is basically Japan. Pile driver by Shawn. Nope. But he's got the advantages so far. He's up 2 pin attempts, and on damage, he is ahead, and he's not bleeding, and Inoki is. So, Enziguri, and that normally is a finisher for Inoki, but he doesn't get it. Say hello to Dave Little, turned 62 yesterday. I'll catch up with him on September 6th. And seeing some pin attempts here and nothing. Now, Inoki has forged ahead. And I need to remember to turn the cut limit rule off because I don't do matches stuffed on cuts anymore. In the early days of RCW, I had title changes on cuts, but The rule in North America normally is if you win by a pin or a submission, and any other way keeps the champion where it is. Noki way ahead now. Gotten some encouragement from the crowd. Backdrop suplex, and no, it's a DD. It's a DQ. It's a DQ. Is Triple H, we will say. Jumps the ring and attacks the referee, saving HBK's baking a little bit, but Inoki will win by DQ at 21:39. So Inoki was decisively on head. I think that settles the feud, and maybe we have now all the matches are booked for this week, so I will probably have Inoki and Trips playing at each other next week. So let's just set that up. Put a little note underneath here. Inoki, Triple H. We're not doing the world titles rotation anymore. I'm just going to go like Nick Bockwinkel and Stan Hansen were both North American stars, so I want to put that in the North. And then like Danny Hodge would be the next, and he's got Vern Gagne this week, so we're going to put that in the West because they appreciate the little guys a little better. And World Tag Team titles, we'll put that in the East, and it'll change from week to week. It won't be a true rotation. Figure everybody's seeing anything everything anyway. So that's how we will do that. Now, because Inoki won by DQ, we take his current ranking, we multiply that by 0.75, we add 3 back, so he's at 15, tenth of a point per ranking. But you cannot, if you would lose points for winning or gain points for losing, I don't employ the kind of strength of schedule step. So Michaels goes to 50, but he would gain 3 points because he faced somebody 30 places better than him. So he's at 47 right now. And it's not usually a whole number. Sometimes I go to decimal places, and that's how I do it. So I think you'll like these live to tape sessions that I do because it will have a nice little folksy feel, I think. And we're at 10:46. I'm going to stop and have salad right after our last match at whatever match. If we go to past noon, I'm just going to stop tape, have my salad, and move on. So behind the scenes, what I do is I use random sequence generator. And I ask it to give me numbers 1 to 100 and put it in 16 columns. And the column that the 100 is in, if I feel like making a change, I make a change. And we did that with this match. Chotan, I forgot who Demolition will be replacing, but that'll be our second bout on the show today. And tonight I will be producing Time Travel League games, but this will be in-week games, limited commentary, just watch and enjoy. A little more ASMR for you all. And this will have a 30-minute time limit. Choten is 12th right now, and Demolition is 20th. Actually, when it comes to the rankings, I just might go back to using whole numbers. And two are tied. The tie goes to the better rated grappler or tag team. So we trade hold recommendations have been applied. I'm also looking to do my own wrestling game, but that'll be a project that takes several months, and I want it to kind of be a bridge between Wrestling's Finest and Legends of Wrestling. Kind of like what Vintage Sports had been doing with his 50s project. Okay, so this is underway. Let me just double check everything here. Okay, we're good. And off we go. I did that already. Never hurts to double check. So Chotan and Demolition will be our second card. Second bout on the card. We do 8 a card. And Demolition went for their finisher, but it got countered by Choten. Choten is Masahiro Chono and Hiroroshi Tenzan. Chono appeared on that comedy show that always does shows New Year's Eve. I think it's called Gaki no Tsuskai or something like that. But Chono was always appearing and always saying an obscenity on the show in Japanese, but when you translate it to English, it's obscene. So we won't mention it here. So Demolition doing well. This 30-minute time limit bout. They, by the way, let me just do the records check here. Chotan is 3-1-2 coming in. 3 wins, 1 losses, 2 draws. Well, Demolition. I'll get back to the match in a moment. I am still working on the simple ratings system. I did put week 7 in the system today. I am, I'd say 6-7 days shy of having that done, and we could use that as rankings. Demolition now 0 for 3, getting that decapitator elbow off. Choten has clawed back into the bout. Pin attempts 3-2 in favor of Demolition, so this is about even. And again, they tried for the decap and it did not hit. Last 10 minutes. Time to defecate or get off the pot. One of these two teams might be looking at a draw, which each team would lose 75% off their ranking. STF, well, there's no chance of a submission. We'll just keep them in control. We have a DQ. Choten by DQ. So again, we have a technical win and not a. That could move Choten to the top 10. 23-25. They'll be at 9.8, so that they will be at 10, as I'm figuring it. Smash. Not a bad loss for Demolition because they weren't pinned, but no loss is a good loss. So 263, 246, 3.5. DQ win. We'll get in the way this is set up. Should probably get them into the title picture somewhere. Okay, so they go to 4-1-2. Their only loss was a pinfall loss to Arn and Tully, 4 Horsemen. That was 3 bouts ago now. So let's do the math. Chotan is at 9, but they lose a point. Demolition, so they're at 10. They would lose the battle to the High Flyers, but the High Flyers could go up or go down. Demolition is at 20. They would go to 23, but they would gain a point for the strength of their schedule being a little stronger, so they would be at 22. They would lose the battle to Nick Bockwinkel, Ray Stevens, who aren't competing because Nick's the world champion. So 2 bouts down, and we're at 10:53. And let me see who we got here. Okay, we're at 15 minutes. So this should be a good battle coming up. We got Bruno San Martino, who is a two-time real-life WWF champion, held the title for nearly 8 years the first time. I have Tommy Rich. Tommy Rich was a NWA champion in 1981, but very briefly. Tommy Rich is 38. I use his babyface card, but I use him as a tweener, so he can get all fired up. So we will. Oh, I didn't do a card intangible. Oh, we just delayed the start so the crowd could get in. So Bruno. Now, who beat Bruno to have Bruno lose those titles in 63 and then again like 73, 74? First time he lost the title, he lost it to Ivan Koloff. And then the second time he lost, I think in 77 in Baltimore, he lost to superstar Billy Graham, which will get a rise out of Al Red Sox fan. So Bruno's number 10, Tommy Rich beat Harley Race for the title, then lost the Harley Race a few days later. They kind of did the dusty finish. Well, not a dusty finish, but a kind of a dusty move. We're gonna use his babyface card, but use him as a tweener. 30-minute time limit. I need to get some water, but let's finish this bout first. And off we go. Pile driver will be a speed move. So Bruno is competing in the South for the Brass Knucks title, so this will be a tune-up for him. Buddy Rogers is the World Brass Knuckles title. All that means is it's no DQ, no time limit, just, that's all it means. Well, Tommy Rich drew with Danny Hodge, who is now okay. Off we go. For my project, if this project ever gets off the ground, what I want it to do is I want it just have the computer engine also look at some of the newer guys that don't have cards. And Legends of Wrestling, there are a whole bunch of people who don't have cards. I want it to be able to make tag teams that are not carded. We put two guys together, and also recognize the fact that some of these tag teams are pretty good. So it's an even bout. Tommy a little more pizzazz right now. He's up 5 pin attempts to 1. Oh, I forgot to. Okay, so Tommy Rich, I forgot to do a computer check, so we will keep that in mind and just play some cards as we go on. But this is about even in the first 10. We will use the disqualify. I figure we're going to have to be very aggressive using these cards. I usually like the computer. San Martino now up. Chop to the throat. No dice. We'll use a strategy card here. Play this card. Oh, and we have blood. We have a chair shot coming up here. Bruno is cut at 1442 from a wildfire chair shot. That usually gets Bruno a little mad. And we have a DQ, yes. DQ, so Tommy Rich with the win by a DQ at 16:39 as a bloodied San Martino shoved the ref down. I put these up on the a Delphi board for Wrestling's Finest. So that's a big win for Wildfire. 1644. Let's do the grading on that. So Rich was at 38. Okay. Clean win would have put him at 19, so it's 9.5. That gets him to 28. Plus 2 for facing somebody 28 points. Actually, no. 3 for facing somebody 28 points ahead of him. So he goes to 25. So, and the 9.5 is going to be 10 off. Addition of 10 for San Martino. Plus, he loses 3 for facing somebody 28 places down. So he goes to 23. Okay. Okay, we have done the paperwork on match number 4, and we will get that going. Just took about a 5-minute break to go urinate and grab a bottle of water. And I had a couple of fudge stripe cookies. I'm on EBT, and they have put restrictions now that you can't buy Diet Coke, and you can't buy this, and you can't buy that. So yesterday, I didn't go to church because I really wasn't needed at church for my slide duties, so I just bought a few things. My farewell to unhealthy eating, I guess. So Vern is number 7, and Bruiser is 25 in the world. And you see the records there. We used the Japanese card for Gagne. They have both had up and downs. Gagne was the winner of the Battle Royal for the first junior heavyweight champion. Lost to Antonio Inoki, who lost to Luthez. No, I take that back. Gagne. Well, now I'm unsure about the order. Hang on, folks. Let's go to the reference and get this straight for you all. It was Inoki. Inoki won it twice, okay? Luthez sandwiched his reigns. Inoki lost to Thez, then beat Thez, and now Danny Hodge is the champion. When in doubt, just look it up. So Gagne is a strong contender. He's had his up and downs. He's still 7th in the world, and Brody is 25. And obviously, he's not going to be able to compete with Brody in terms of size. Brody 6-4-1. He's the former Western title. This is it holder, and this is his first match since vacating the Western title. Oh, and we have shenanigans right away. Brody wins by countout. So Brody is just picking up matches here and there, while he and Stan Hansen are the world brass knucks tag title holders. But if Hansen wins the world title tonight, they will have to vacate that, and we'll have a battle royal for the new champions. So this ended suddenly. Okay, let me just double check, make sure I recorded it. Yep, okay. This one was over before it began. So Brody has been as high as inside the top 10. So we will score this match. So Brody gains 12.5, which will be 13. That moves him to 12, and he goes to 10. 12.5 moves Brody to 20. 22 goes Vern Gagne. That's a big loss for him. And he will be out of the top 20. It was the top junior heavyweight coming in, and he will have a match later this week against Danny Hodge out west. If he is not too badly shaken up to continue, we might have to pull in a substitute opponent for him, depending on if his number comes up in his column when we do the West. So on to our fifth and last non-title bout. This is a grudge match between Mr. Wrestling 2 and Paul Jones. Mr. Wrestling 2 is 14th. He got a Northern title shot last week with Harley Race, won by DQ, but that was because of an assault by Paul Jones. Using his heel card, even though his face card is way better. Got to make him a little cowardly. So this is a grudge match. No time limit on this one because it is a specially designated match. Try to find a winner here. Winner could move to the top 10. Jones has been in and out of the top 10. And if everything goes right, Jones could be facing Harley Race again next week if he wins or doesn't lose. Put the XXX down because I know I'm going to do the result later. 2 comes in. He has not lost in 5 bouts. RCW bouts. Well, Paul has had his ups and downs. At 3 wins, 5 losses, 5 ties. So if we have a clean winner, the winner will move to the top 10 and the loser will be around 20. So this will be an untimed bout. Try to get a winner here. Belly to back suplex right away by 2 and Jones. Jones is a very big, had a very big following in Georgia. And of course, that is back around the time that WCTG, which became WTBS, went national. And they had their 6:05 to 8:05 matches. And the reason why they had 2 hours of wrestling was because of the Atlanta promotional war of 1974 when Ray Gunkel passed away of a heart attack. Ann Gunkel, Ray's wife, decided to start her own promotion, and they went head to head with the NWA promotion out of Atlanta for a while. They had All South Wrestling. Jones is bleeding, but 2 is dominating. And Gunkel still was involved in wrestling, I would say up until about the late 80s, early 90s. And Gunkel, that is. Ray Gunkel died of a heart attack after a match with Ox Baker. And as you see there, we have a double count out. Double count out. So the feud there will continue. Maybe we have to put these guys in a cage, huh? Jones was not cut too badly. Okay, I'm up to 11:15 now on time. So the promoter part of my brain is saying, put these guys in a cage, and we will do that next week. Have them settle their feud. So I'm putting that in my booking notes. So I usually take the babyface that did best and give him a title shot. Let's say Harley Race defends later in our 7th bout. We're about to do number 6 here in a minute. So Inoki won by DQ, but Inoki has a feud with Triple H now. Bruno went 16:39, and Gagne did not go long at all, so maybe I give Bruno the title shot, provided he does not win the World Brass Knuckles title, as I have highlighted here. But we'll think about it a little bit. But hey, Albert Wall could win the Northern title tonight and change all of my plans. So let's score the bout before I forget, and I was thinking about forgetting. Okay, so doing math in my head here, both the scores are going to get reduced by 7/8. So 13. Yeah, that would be 2 points. So Jones goes to 11 and Mr. Wrestling 2 would go to 12 because they would both gain 2 points. If you take 14 divided by 8, you would get a 1 and a high fraction, and that would be 2, and you would cut both of them down 2. So Fez and Jones share a ranking, and Briscoe and Mr. Wrestling 2 share a rating. Right now. So on to our tag title bout. This for the Northern tag titles. We had the Flying Scots win over the Briscoe brothers last week in a scientific bout. But Jerry got injured later in the week, and Jack won the Western title. The Dusicks had a feud with the Briscoes, the Dusick Riot Squad out of Omaha, Nebraska. They are number 3 in the world, and the Flying Scots are number 6. So we'll go back to classic rules. This is just your normal match. The Deuce held 2 DQ wins over the Briscoes before losing to them in, I think it was a cage match in the third bout. So this is 6 of 8 bouts that we're doing for you on this work session, we'll call it. Which sounds like it's something out of government, right? So this is a 60-minute time limit bout. And the Dusick brothers are Ernie and Emil from left to right. So let me just do a brief write-up. Brusso's, the Scots, I beg your pardon. The Brussos? Who's that? Who's that? Their only loss was the Bruiser Brody and Stan Hansen. Their only loss, the Dusicks, were to the Briscoe brothers, who will be inactive for a little bit as Jack is the Western champion. But maybe he loses the title this week. You never know. You never know what Wrestling's Finest is going to give you. So let's start this bout. One fall, 60-minute time limit. We've had some good action here on this northern card in the preliminaries. So the Dusicks are making quick tags, standing, keep their guy in a standing headlock. Then they tag. The other guy takes over with the standing headlock, and this is how heel tag teams got over without breaking the rules. Minnesota Wrecking Crew used to do a hammerlock. They would rotate in and keep applying hammerlocks on a babyface. Just gaming the system a little bit. Single leg lock, that's not going to get a submission. So very good teams. They've only lost once. Dusicks try to get a pin with that standing headlock, and they're raining punches in on George and Sandy. Sandy Scott's probably better known as a booker in Mid-Atlantic and then later in the WWF. A lot of wrestlers didn't think much of his booking. But the success each of those territory had when he was there kind of speaks for itself. So we're 22 minutes in. The Dusicks are slightly ahead, but in order for the title to change, there has to be a pinfall and submission. Oh! I think that's Joe Dusick at ringside trying to interfere. Bunch of Dusicks. There was Frank Dusick, who was in world class in Florida in the 80s, but he was not a direct descendant of the Dusick Riot Squad, if I remember correctly. So we're halfway home on this title bout, tag title bout, and no winner yet. The Dusicks are doing well. They have 9 pin attempts to the 4 for the Scots. And regardless of what happens, both these teams are not going to lose too much. DQ possible, and there it is, a DQ. And the Dusicks just lose it, just trying to play by the rules, and they decide, yeah, let's not do that for much longer. So Time of the fall was 34-18. It was a 4-star bout. If you win a 5-star bout, you get a little. I give you a little bonus. Do 6. Use ref's instructions. I might get this done by noon. It's 11:24 now. We got 2 more matches. Right, the deuce 6 carrying the fight. They stop carrying for the referee's instructions. And lose by DQ. But that doesn't hurt him too much in the rankings. You might see a rematch here next week. Okay, so let's see. Choten won by DQ. Choten as foreigners could play, very, shadowy heel like tweeners. So let's do the math. It's Scots gain a 1.5, which is 2. They go to 4. And the deuce 6 dropped to 5. I think I'll book deuce 6 and Choten next week. And now that we're in the title bout. By the way, I need to. All these bouts are going to happen, so we could just take the no film. Okay. So we know next week it'll be the. I don't really like to follow the babyface heel dynamic all that much because almost everybody has been a heel and a face at different points of their career. So it does. I kind of like do what Dave Little does with his Legends of Wrestling endeavors, and just I don't think face and heel means too much over time. I think they make a big deal out of that. So in week 15, we'll have the Scots and Choten clashing, and the Scots won a babyface match to be champions, so they should face other babyfaces. And Choten could play, kind of quasi heels because they're foreigners, which is what was true in Japan. You saw a lot of people who were babyfaces in North America were heels in Japan just because of geography. So, on to our 7th bout, which is going to be Harley Race, who has been. And I don't use managers, I should point out, because I think my system is if you want to use managers, you have to win a title to earn it. So that's kind of what I like to do. And I don't have Bobby Heenan, let's say, as the manager for Harley Race because he's already managing Nick Bockwinkel in his world championship. I use managers sparingly. Because wrestling uses managers as kind of like third men, fourth men, anything like that. Back when the Baltimore Orioles had all those good pitching teams in the 60s and 70s, you saw Earl Weaver out there to argue, but you didn't see him, with a glove on his hand or a bat in his hand trying to bash the umpiring crew. So I kind of like take that standard and I apply it to wrestling, try to make it a more realistic endeavor. So coming into this, we have used Albert Wall, who is a British wrestler, sparingly. He's only 3-1-1, and this is the 14th week. But Race is coming in at 4-3. And Albert Wall is 3-1-1. But this is a big test for him. Albert's only loss was a count out to Buddy Rogers, who is now the Brass Knucks title holder. So let's see what he could do against Harley. That starts out about even. Don't know too much about Albert Wall according to this, they called him Rocky. Chair shot by Albert Wall. He snatched a chair away from Harley and bashed him with it. So Harley is not off to a good start. So could Albert Wall be the Northern champion? When this is over, we will see. Pin attempt, not there. Of course, WrestleMania was last night as I record this, and Roman Reigns beat CM Punk, and Cody Rhodes the prior night beat Randy Orton. So I guess they're starting up with the whole legacy thing for Roman Reigns. Harley is cut. Harley with a pretty good-sized cut. As Jesse Ventura used to say about Harley, he has that head of plywood. Clothesline by Harley. He'll do what he can to keep the title. Pile driver, and this is usually a finisher, and that is the case here. So Harley was tested by Albert Wall, but with the pile driver, Harley is going to prevail. And I forgot to get the numbers for Harley and Albert Wall. Harley was at 15, so he will go to 8. Well, 7.5 would get you to 7. And Albert Wall was 32, so he won't drop too terribly. So Harley goes to 7, but the 1.7 is going to put him at, his final number will be a 9. Albert will lose 8 points and go to 40, but he will gain 2 of them back, and he'll be at 38. Now, did I save who the winner was? Another reason why I'm doing all of this on tape is I can look at the tape. Like, for instance, sometimes I will just forget to write down the damages and the match rating. 68, and it was a 3.5 star match. Okay. I figure if I have it on tape, I could relook at it. Okay, here's the big one, folks, for your World's Championship. And we'll be putting up some more RCW as the days progress. I'm trying to do 15 vlogs today. Not today, but during the course of the week from Monday to Saturday. And then I do a couple of civilian blogs. I do the Poly Perspective, and I just put that up this morning. I was going to do this afternoon, and I thought, why wait? Get it over with. So Bockwinkel is the world's champion, so we use the world's champion card in the champion set. Now, I don't have to look up what these guys are rated because I know. Bockwinkel is 1 and Hansen is 2. So regardless of who wins and who loses, they probably will just stay where they are, 1 and 2. And if Hansen wins the title tonight, he will move up to number 1, and Bockwinkel will fall to number 2. This is for the world's title. The world's title in RCW. Bobby the Weasel at ringside. So using the Champions card, Bockwinkel only had one loss prior to this. There was a DQ to Ricky Steamboat. But as champion, using the Champions card, he is 4-0. And Hansen has won 3 straight. To go to 6-3-1. Of course, Hansen was the AWA champ, lost the title, some political maneuvering by Vern Gagne. Bockwinkel became a subsequent champion, but he didn't beat Hansen to win the title, if my memory serves. So this ought to be a good match, even though both these guys are heels, and that could play into it too. And did I forget? Oh yeah, I did. I forgot again with the strategy cards. So we're gonna have to think things out for Hansen, but I want to wait until I'm ahead. Oh, we got to cut right away on the champ. Bruiser Brody comes to ringside. And nails Bockwinkel with a chair. Also shoving Heenan away. Nick is cut open at 211. He's got a long way to go. Punches. Just going to have this guy use punches. And now he's cut farther. He is cut farther. We'll say that was Brody again. Turnbuckle move. Nope. Running power slam. He was able to get Hansen up. So we used the strategy card. It was nullified. Figure 4. No. But Hansen way ahead here at the 7:26 mark. Could we see the title change hands tonight? Which will have ramifications. Belly to belly suplex. Nick's able to get, he's deceptively strong. He's able to get Hansen off his feet, which has been a bit of a surprise. Just won by countout over Andre the Giant, as you saw in our last video. And we have a verdict. Bockwinkel's going to win by countout, which is what happened with Andre. And it was kind of a surprise win. As he was pummeled from pillar to post. But he snuck into the ring. Hansen gives Nicky a pummeling. But Nick snuck back in with all of his might. And that's your card for today, folks. 14:23 was the time. And we will, if you are seeing this on April 20th, I will be back tomorrow and we're going to do another card. We're going to do a card in the East. Let's just do the final numbers. Yeah, they're not going to move up too much. Bockwinkel would move to 0.75. It would just end up rounding to 1. You'd go to 0.85. And Hansen wouldn't lose anything because it'd be 1.9. And the half point would put him at 2-4. Yeah, he's not moving up at all. So they will stay 1 and a 2. So I'm going to put this in yellow, saying the card is ongoing. And for the Northern title, it will be... How about Race and Brody going at it? No. Brody has nothing to do with Race at this point. We'll do Race Bruno, provided Bruno's not the World Brass Knucks title holder. So those are our only 2 bouts. We put winners on the undercard. So let's do that. We have Brody, Tommy Rich as a... We're using his face card, but he's kind of like a tweener heel. Inoki. Brody Inoki would be about. And Choten will face the Scots. So that'll leave the bouts open to be filled when the week ends. So I hope you enjoyed this edition of RCW as we did the card from beginning to end for you right here. 20 minutes to noon. I will process this and put this up and see you a little later tonight for some Time Travel League baseball action. Bye-bye for now, everybody.